Hey, thanks for coming. Yep, thank you.
See you later, Mike.
Call this meeting order, Stuart City Council, tentative agenda, Monday, August 12th, 2024, council chamber. Call to order, Patrick.
Here.
Russell.
Here.
Dolly.
Here.
Morgan. Here. Cobble.
Here.
Agenda approval, consent agenda, approval of minutes of 7/8/2024, special meetings 6/12/2024. Approval of financial statements as of 7/31/2024. Approval of bills as presented, approval of liquor license, approval of liquor license Mexican Master. Motion.
So moved.
Mr. Patrick, second. Second, Morgan, how do you vote? Patrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Cobal?
Yep.
Okay, street department, Jim Henderson.
Good evening. We are still in search of an employee. Have really had no applicants that even fit the bill anywhere close. So I think we need to maybe look at another avenue to get that accomplished. With the employee currently that I have, I would like to move him into Corey Geisinger's Corey Geisinger's position, which would bump his salary to what Corey was or when he left. With that, he would have an agreement to achieve his grade 1 wastewater certification within 12 months. And he needs a CDL as well. So I would like to see if the council would entertain the idea of paying the costs of that CDL with a 1-year commitment agreement with him.
So you're thinking like sending to that CDL school?
I want to look at all options and see what's available because they've changed it so many times in the last couple of years that I'm not 100% certain of where he needs to be.
Yeah, and things like that will work, hiring guys, with no CDLs. But we train people at the DOT, but I know these classes that you can send them to DMAC or something, I know it's roughly around $3,000-4,000 to get somebody there. But what do you look for, like a Class B?
Class B with their.
Class A, Class B with their.
Yeah, it's what we need.
Sure, okay.
What kind of wage was Corey?
Corey was at $23.51 when he left. And Mason with this cost of living increases at like $20.80 right now.
And he's willing to do that?
I don't want to bring up anything I shouldn't. I don't know if I can bring it up. I don't want to get in trouble. I think it's important, but I don't want to bring it up.
Later on, we're gonna talk about employee retention and health insurance, but right now, Jim has no applicants, the utility, no applicants. The police have Dave's cousin, Chris, but nobody else filling positions. Right now, just on the police side, I don't know about all the others. Adair and Earlham pay more for their people right now than we are. And that's what Dave said, it's gonna be tough for us to find people. And Jim's situation, he could walk out the door today and make $30,000-40,000 more than what he does just doing the sewer stuff.
So I guess so, we had that joint meeting and you know that the utility board talked about employee and stuff. And can we match their wage?
25.36.
Is that what it was?
I wrote it down.
Can we just go up to that and do his CDL? Is that something? And then, but then that, Jim needs to be moved up a little bit too, in that case. Because trust me, I don't keep track of what your wages are after we do them. I just don't write them down on my refrigerator, so.
I'm not so much worried about myself, I'm just tired of constantly having to start over.
Yeah, see, that's an issue.
It's frustrating.
Yeah,
And that's the reason we, Mike, we bumped up the police because we're constantly losing officers. Get a new one in there and then all the other officers have to spend extra time in the evening, whatever, helping them out, constantly getting calls. Now we've got a full staff that can basically be on their own.
I don't think you'll ever attain a thing where you're going to not lose somebody if they find a better job. You want to try to make it good. That's why I'm saying if, I know there's a lot of discussion at the, on the utility side there. And why not just, if he wants to stay, I mean, I can't force him, I can't.
Ultimately gonna be his decision.
Yeah, but if he wants to do that, then we bump him up, we match that wage and then take care of the CDO.
Is there any, I know we do this at the school, there's always some sort of a year, 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is, contract, whereas if they do take another job, you have to pay back whatever that cost is. So like something like if we pay
Like
for
what
the
the
CDL,
police do, like what the police do.
Right.
Right.
if we pay for the CDL, but then all of a sudden he takes a job, he has to pay back. I'm just throwing that out for an example, but I'm just saying, is there any way we can, if he wants that money or any of our employees want that as an incentive, they have to stay for X time frame.
And I don't know if it needs to be just focused on, your worker there, Jim. I think that would be for anybody that comes into this position, that we would do the same thing that we do for police. If we're gonna, why not make that a perk as, if you don't have your CDL, we will pay for you, but you gotta do this, and that should probably be an ongoing thing. And that's where you kind of find these things out when you start losing people, what's it gonna take?
Exactly.
So, yeah, I wouldn't have an issue with having some sort of requirement like we do for the police department, that you have to stay to kind of earn that back, on that. And then just, why not have the wages really basically almost the same on each one, on the utilities and our side. I know you can't. I know, but I mean, if you're moving from one city entity to the other, I mean, let's kind of, let's.
I think with the union, it's kind of,
That's
Yeah.
true.
The union kind of plays factor in that.
And
Sure.
if the CDL is 4,000, divide that by 2,080 hours, that's $1.92 raise per hour, basically. And if we throw that in, that'd be above and beyond whatever you guys want to do, either 23.51 or 25.36 or whatever.
The issue, it shouldn't be really an issue, I'm just throwing this out for discussion, but, when Corey put in his 2 weeks and he left, we didn't counteroffer anything to let him stay too. So, I mean, I don't have a problem with what we do, but I would just ask the council that we be consistent moving forward. If we do it for one, we need to do it for everybody who's, and is that gonna open up where everybody's gonna start coming forward and say, well, I'm gonna leave unless you pay me this much. And I know that's not what your employee's doing. I'm just throwing this out there. But I think we just need to be consistent in what we're doing, because we have had some employees leave already and we didn't try to entice them to stay.
Ash, maybe you can elaborate more on this. I don't remember the full details, but I know when we reviewed on the utility board, the pay for, achieving certain things on water or electric, there was steps, hey, if you complete this, it's an automatic, this amount, extra money per year. I mean, is that something that we do on the streets department right now, where they get their grade 1, grade 2, grade 3? It's not that complicated.
Yeah, we have it established. Yeah. So what do you recommend, Jen? You talk to Miss. What do you recommend in this situation to make him happy?
I recommend we go with the 23.51 plus the CDL cost.
Plus the CDL, okay. Would the council be?
Is there gonna be a time limit?
Yes, like I mentioned,
A year.
a year on the grade 1 and then
And
CDL will be, ASAP, yes.
And Mason is He will stay with you, okay?
Well, he gave me an indication he was good with that. That's ultimately his decision.
I'm looking at him and he has a
I
smile.
can't, I can't speak for him, that's his decision.
Right. Yeah, that's his decision.
He's gotta weigh his options and make the best decision for him.
Yeah.
And that's what I've encouraged him to do, is make the best decision.
Okay, can I just throw this out there as well? So if said employee doesn't, agree to that, and he decides to move on at the end of the day, if we're willing to bump that up to 23.51, and he decides to go ahead and part ways, are we okay to leave it there to try to hire somebody in at this wage?
Yeah, because you're replacing who?
Yeah.
He stepped into whose position and he will catch up with his license and all this.
Sure. But I'm just saying, if he doesn't accept that,
Yeah, we can.
we might have to
Yeah.
leave it at that, maybe to try to pull somebody in. Because we're kind of in a pickle with winter knocking on our back door.
What did you propose for a different alternative to hire someone else to? I thought you said maybe we'd go a different direction, or.
I guess what I'm looking at is we've used Iowa League of Cities, IAMU's website, Indeed. We've had really no takers, so I don't know if we need to, find a consultant
Yeah.
to,
We can
help us in our search.
Yeah.
There's a wage,
He's looking for
there's a,
license.
there's a wage out there on those ads, what you want to start with.
You know, with the witch.
I mean, that's a big deal.
What do you believe is the biggest obstacle in us finding somebody? Be honest.
License.
The licensing. The licensing would be the biggest thing. The grade 3 wastewater plant.
Just not having them, right? Just not having them.
And with the length of time it takes to achieve that you're looking at approximately 5 to 7 years to go from new hire to grade 3, to get through all of the DNR's timetables and the CEU hours is a huge thing. Just to move from one grade to the next, you have to have so many continuing education hours to be able to take that next test. And so those add up greatly. I had to have 900 class hours to move from a grade 2 to a grade 3 when we upgraded the treatment plant.
Mason,
Your biggest issue is your pay. For a grade 2, anywhere else is way more than $25 an hour. So if they already have it, they're not gonna come for little pay to do what Jim does, sewer and public works.
Right, see, that's the thing. If you were just one, but you got,
A lot of hats.
I mean, multiple, so, I hope we realize just how, exactly how fortunate we've been. That's why I'm saying, why not just match the 25 and leave it at that? It doesn't solve all the problems, but it's, just move them up. I mean, it's gonna have to happen. It's gonna have to happen.
plus the CDL.
Plus the same, because, after a year, if he stays a year, then that $1.92 raise, and I get your point, that's gone.
Right.
He's already done it, so now you're just back to 25, that's only $2 more, so. I get it, but.
So is that a motion?
That's my 2 cents worth. That's just my opinion.
Okay.
Could we, and just entertain a conversation, could we start him out at that 23, then when he gets some licensing, he can be bumped up to that 25, that give him some incentive to.
Well, he's already gonna be bumped up once he gets his grade 1, that's implemented, grade 1, grade 2, it's right in there.
Do we know what the bump up was, Ash? Do you remember? I remember seeing it, but I can't.
It's $2.
$2.
It was too.
It's $2 per grade.
I guess I just don't know, I know a lot of surrounding areas were probably not even close to what they are. I just think,
For a base public works employee right now, I could leave with no qualifications at all and go to Clyde for $27 an hour.
yeah.
And Urbandale is $26.50.
Yeah.
So if you move me up, you gotta move the rest of the steps.
And I know somebody that has a kid that works down there, and it's No, he has nothing, and it's like 26, so.
So like, if you were to put me at 23 or 25, we would need to change that of looking for the next guy to 30 or something to get somebody to come in, because at 27 is nothing to grade 2.
Gosh, do you have that in your budget to
What is
do
it?
that much? Or all of it, or any of what we're talking about?
25 is the same, because 23 you're paying for his license,
Mhm.
which is 4,000 less than you said, that's too low. 25 is the same, so they both the same, budgeting wise, until we get to the actual budget, and then maybe we can revisit, because it will make big difference how he's gonna get that license with the sewer,
Mhm.
But we don't have to go far with that, we just want to take care of this, and I think they both the same. 23 and 25, budgeting wise, because we're still gonna pay for his license, But he's willing to give the commitment to kinda make it justifiable, and that's a plus too, that he's willing to stay with you for how many years, Mason, 10 years?
He's young, probably another 40, right?
So, like I said, this whole thing is, back and forth with 20 and 25 is not a big difference. But he gave you the commitment, and that's what it matters, that he's happy for what he does, and we're happy to have him. We just need to move on with that subject to worry about the next step of having a license.
And I get your point, we need to, whatever we do, we almost need to do across the board but I will say, I think our streets is bleeding the most.
Yeah.
It is.
No, it's hurting the most right now. No offense, just like health.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you like to do?
Um,
I'm gonna make the motion for 25 plus all the things Jim said.
Okay,
License.
CDL, okay,
You're talking the matching of utilities, the $25 and whatever.
2536, I think is what
Know what it was?
I'd written down the other night at the meeting.
yeah.
Sarah can confirm that.
Plus CDL, plus license, and a 1-year commitment.
So any more
Yeah.
discussion?
Did you guys get what my was?
Well, that was kind of James, but just kind of helping them out there. So they made the motion.
2576.
I'll second you.
Okay. Moved and second. How do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Kavanaugh.
Yes.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Jim.
Jim.
Oh, well, what about are we gonna repost too? Not
Yes, yeah, we're gonna find an alternative or something, yeah.
That's a different direction.
Okay, number 5, Forest. I said we probably shouldn't do all these at once, so we'll have to do one at a time, because Jim had some
Yeah.
possibly questions too.
Yes, yeah, no, we do not want, we can
One at a
group
time.
some of them together if we want, but no, we don't want to do them all
Okay,
at
we'll do
once.
A first.
For A, that's just a normal partial payment estimate in the amount of $147,180. And they're about done out there. I drove through it on my way here. They got some sidewalk. Electrical to hook up to the lift station. A lot of cleanup stuff. So we need to do a walkthrough and clean the streets and clean the storm sewers and that. I did ask for a schedule on the project and where they were at with the schedule. And they said that trying to get the electrician out there to power the lift station. And they're looking to get sidewalks and ADA ramps poured this week and do the final seating end of next week, and then do a final walkthrough sometime next week probably. So we'd recommend approval of the pay estimate.
How much retention do you have on the whole project?
We have 250,000 in retention, plus there's another 100,000 we haven't paid them yet, so we've got quite a bit.
Need a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Dr. Patrick,
I'll second.
Dr. Russell, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, B,
B was a completion date extension. That is a holdover from the last meeting, and the recommendation was to not approve any extensions until they were done. They're not done, so recommend that still be tabled. And no action on that tonight.
Sounds good.
okay, C.
Um, So this is a formality. This plant's been in front of you, I don't know, this is the third time, just looking for approval. We made a few little minor changes. I think Warren would feel more comfortable if we had final approval through council, just dotting the i's and crossing the t's.
Okay.
Fair, that's exactly right.
So moved.
Dr. Patrick. Morgan, how do you vote? Dr. Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, D,
So D, E, and F can go together.
okay,
So this is switching subjects, so we had Hydroclean, they're a company out of Des Moines, doing manhole rehabilitation around town. So this is final payment of $10,000, make payment to them, acceptance of the manhole project, and then payment of the retainage of $59,700 30 days from now. Once there's an Iowa law, the 30 days have to pass in case someone files a claim. And then this would release the retainage after the 30 days are up, assuming no one files a claim.
Motion.
So moved.
Dr. Patrick,
Second.
second by Dolly, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
G,
G's an old one that's been around a long, long time. So this is actually accepting the public improvements that were done as part of the Casey's project for Division 7th and 8th around the new Casey's store. We were hung up in paperwork for a long, long time, and I guess we've been plowing streets that weren't technically ours, but this is to finally, the paperwork's all in order. They gave us the documents that we've been asking for a long, long time, settled some things that's kind of in the letter that was in your packets. And so this is accepting those street improvements.
Motion.
So moved.
Dr. Patrick,
I'll second it.
Dolly, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, H,
H is out at All Saints. There's a, I brought a, I didn't know if everybody would,
I'm sorry, one and one.
wondering about this maybe. Yes, I did. So this is the corner lot at the corner of All Saints Drive and Whitehall Road. It's in the northeast corner. And so there's a house that's being built there in the northeast corner. And there's some utilities in the way, right there, you can kind of see it a little fuzzy, but right there at the southwest corner of the lot. And so the home builder says, we could put a sidewalk through there, we could bend the sidewalk closer to the street, go around the utilities sticking up, but he's going, what's the point? Now the new homeowner is gonna have to shovel snow and maintain the sidewalk that doesn't go anywhere. There's no sidewalk on Whitehall Road on Front Street. There's no plans for that in the immediate future. There's no sidewalk on the west side of All Saints Drive. There's no plans for that in the immediate future. So we talked to Seed and and I talked to Jim, and our recommendation is to take that sidewalk to the driveway that's gonna go into this new house. But south of the driveway, not have a sidewalk extended that doesn't connect to anything. But we didn't want to put the homeowner off that buys this lot off forever, because who knows, you know, someday there may be a sidewalk along White Pole Road or a trail, or there may be a sidewalk along the west side of All Saints Drive. So along with this is an agreement to, that gets recorded with the property, that is an agreement saying that the homeowner, when the city says you shall put this rest of the sidewalk in, it goes in at the property owner's expense. And that gets filed with the property and stays with the property.
So can that be highlighted so they specifically know, so we don't have another catastrophe like we did near the high school with that road and everything? The person said, I was unaware of this.
Yes, the home builder has to sign this, and we'll make sure that, that this gets recorded, and we'll make sure that the home builder knows it, or the new property owners. I would ask Matt or Seed or somebody to, let these property owners know, or this property owner know.
What about if they put a sidewalk going east on the north side of, Front Street?
For whatever reason, the city says, we want you to extend that sidewalk, doesn't matter the reason, they have to do it.
Going east too?
No, not going east, this is just going south. We're not requiring any of the homeowners on the north side of White Pole Road to put a sidewalk in for that whole length.
But are we in the same boat there? Is that a forever thing?
That part is a forever thing, because the council at the time said, we do not want a trail on the north side of White Pole Road. That's why that trail is going through the middle of the subdivision, is because the council said, that's what we want. When we did All Saints 4 years ago, the council decided, and C decided we want to have the trail go, and you kind of see it there at the north side of the picture. That's where we want the trail to go going out to the high school. Now, could there be a second sidewalk or a second trail on Front Street? Possibly, but we need to curb and gutter Front Street before we could do it. So, whenever Front Street is curb and guttered, yeah, maybe a sidewalk in there then, but yeah, we made a decision not to require sidewalks for all the properties that are along there. So this just affects the west side. This agreement just affects the west side of that one lot. Now, right or wrong, that's what previous council chose to do.
So my question is on the 90-day time frame. I mean, is that reasonable? I mean, what would be the cost of putting in a sidewalk to continue that? I mean, is that gonna be $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000? Is that reasonable to ask in a 90-day time frame to a homeowner? I guess I don't know if you guys know kind of what the average cost of a sidewalk is per foot, based on kind of what we did out here for the safe path, or?
Yeah, so I don't know what our length is that we're talking about, but, if that's an 80-foot lot, and so you're talking maybe 25 feet.
You're probably 35 to 40 feet.
Yeah, so 40
Driveway
feet
south.
times $20 yeah, you're thousands.
$1,000, yeah.
Yeah.
That's just my question, is 90 days homeowner, I mean. It's fine, it's just my opinion.
Yeah, that's a typical we've had in other agreements, but if the council wants that to be longer, that's okay.
I guess if it's normal language, my opinion, if it's normal
If it's
language,
normal language, then
then if the homeowner, if they have an issue or in a pickle or a bind, maybe just step forward and just say, hey,
yeah,
I need a little extension on this or something, but yeah.
The only way I really see this ever coming to fruition is over on the west side of the road, if they do something at the vet clinic to tie in.
Yeah,
That's the only reason really Farley Street, they have that so they can tie sidewalk to sidewalk
Right,
across the road.
right,
Because there isn't a sidewalk going east to the school or anything.
right. Yeah, you're correct. That would be where I would see that happen.
And that's not curb and gutter all through the, no, it is on the west side of the
It
road.
is,
It's not
yeah,
along
All
Front
Saints is
Street.
curb and gutter, yeah, on both sides.
You need motion for this,
Yes.
you need a motion.
I'll make the motion to
Moved by Dolly,
approve that. I'll second it.
second by Kirkpatrick, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, I, safe development, maintenance bond, pavement repairs.
So, this spring, actually before this, Jim had noticed that, especially on Foley Street, kind of in the courts at North End, we're getting some cracking of the pavement. They have a 4-year maintenance bond on the pavement. The project, I looked it up, just so, that was accepted in December of 2021, and we have a 4-year maintenance bond, so technically, we've got until December of 2025, but started notifying the contractor of these problems. Being ignored by the contractor, not responding at all, sent several notices. And so my recommendation to council is sometimes if there's an attorney letterhead rather than a Woolley engineer's letterhead, that might get a little more attention. So my recommendation to council would be to forward this to the city attorney, and I can provide Dewey all the information he needs, and then have that be sent by.
Is it a significant area?
Yeah. 7 panels now.
Yes.
I
we
do
should
not
do that.
believe they would ignore you for us.
I know.
Okay, we'll refer the item to the city attorney.
Yep.
Okay,
We need a motion for that.
we can have a motion.
I'll move that motion.
Moved by Kirkpatrick, second by Morgan, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan, Cobble,
Yes.
Jay.
So we have some public improvements with Quick Star. We're paving 110th, and we're widening Division Street. And they were getting ready to do the work, and Jim calls me up and says, "Who's watching them out there?" And I said, "Well, I thought you were." And he said, "I thought you were." And so, we got somebody right out there. So we've had somebody from Eastern Kim watching the project, the paving 110th. It's all paved right now. Found out they started working on Division, and they weren't supposed to do that without notification, but we'll have that conversation with them tomorrow morning. Jim and I will have that. But anyway, this would be an agreement for our services out there, and this should be forwarded on to Quick Start for Quick Start to pay, not for the city.
Do we need to make a motion for that?
Yeah. Hiring us, and you don't need a motion for Quick Start to pay it. Sarah and Ash can handle that.
Need a motion to hire Venus and King.
I'll make the motion.
Moved by Russell,
I'll second it.
second by Dolly, how do you vote? Kirkpatrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, Kay.
So this is the sanitary sewer improvements being done by Visu Sewer, and they're actually been in town working. However, over the winter, this is really unrelated to the work that they're doing, but over the winter at Gaines and Division, we are getting some hydrocarbons into the sanitary sewer system, and it's not doing good things out of the wastewater plant. And in fact, the odor is so strong that you can smell it at the wastewater plant getting out of your car. And so this is Jim spent a lot of time tracing where it's coming from. It's a leaking underground storage tank, or the tank's not there.
It's a former leaking underground storage tanks contain, they did some, mitigation work on there. And I think in my theory, I think what happened was there is a pocket of contaminated soil underground. And when the utilities water main contractor bored diagonally across the street, they punctured through that because as the spring rains started and saturated the soil, it put head pressure on that contamination and it found the point of least resistance, which was into the joints of the sanitary sewer and also into the manhole structure itself. And made its way to the treatment plant. I've been required by DNR to do numerous tests and take them to the hygienic lab. The DNR has actually reported it all the way up to the federal level. So, I mean, everybody is aware of it up the chain. It's just, we've gotta fix it because the problem is the hydrocarbons, like Forrest said, are making it to the treatment plant. We have an activated sludge plant which operates on bacteria. And the hydrocarbons are killing my bacteria, which throws my plant out of balance, which in a short amount of time is going to throw me into non-compliance with my DNR permit.
So what's the solution for us?
So the Vicious Sewers are already in town doing work, so we contacted them to change order this work into the project. It would be, the manhole is an old brick? It's brick,
Yes,
it's a
correct.
old brick manhole, the sewer's old clay. And so this is digging up the manhole, putting in a concrete manhole with sealed joints, and then lining the entire sanitary sewer with a new pipe that has no joints in it. It'd be complete, so everything would get sealed up. There's actually a bad service, really bad service connection, so they're gonna dig up and repair that service connection while they're at it. And so this would make everything, keep everything out of the, getting in the sewer.
How long will it take them to do this?
It will probably take them a couple weeks.
So is there federal money to help out on this?
That I cannot answer
No,
at this time.
We just gotta get it done and then worry about it later.
Yeah, I was kind of looking on that line, is like, so I know we're kind of speculating on the cause, but if this was found to be, because it kind of sounds like it's down by the old station down there, if something caused by that contamination, would we be able to recoup anything on that? I don't want to play lawyer, but I'm just, like on your way, I'm just kind of throwing it out there, sir.
I don't know, I
Just-
mean, you can visibly see the hydrocarbons coming in through the manhole walls and creating a sheen on the surface.
I mean, if that's caused by something like that, that would be my line of thinking. I know we gotta get it done, but is this something we need to have our council maybe visit and kind of just give us an idea? And I mean, I would still wanna do it, but just kind of maybe look at it
Jim,
and advise us.
The only other thing that I'm concerned about too is moving forward with this, if we start digging there, is the DNR going to require us to remediate the contaminated soil in the area of that manhole?
Yeah,
And how much, I mean, how big is that area? How much are we gonna have to remove is my concern.
Yeah, and we don't know.
And we don't know that.
We don't know.
now when they had the project over here, contamination, it was hauled out in the country, had to set for so long. Did the DNR help any with that cost, or do you know?
I do not know.
Yeah,
Do you know, John? No, okay,
that was 60,000
yeah.
to move that dirt.
We put on the table, the email we got from Forrest, the estimated cost is $71,000.
Yeah, it's not, it's on, announcing the agenda.
We need a motion.
What do you think the cause was again?
It's contamination from a former leaking
No,
storage
but what do you
tank
think, what was the,
site. I think what happened is there was a pocket, and I don't know this for a fact until they start digging and they can actually see it, but I think there was a pocket of contamination. And when the water main contractor bored diagonally across the street, I think they punctured through it, and they're close enough to my sanitary main with their water main.
but there's no like, we dig this up and we realize, hey, this person is at fault. They paid for it.
Well, see, that's what I was getting at, but I was
Right.
asking if it's,
I don't know if there's any way to prove that, or when they were born, they were supposed to do this, and clearly they didn't, and we have evidence to show
No,
that.
it really has nothing to do with the boring of the water main, it's just the path they took, I think,
Hey,
is what opened it
I was
up.
trying to get out of it. Mark is jumping money here. I love the one fingers.
That's why, guys, over the years, Ash and I have worked together to build the reserves that are in the sewer. Because of instances like this, most of our sewers are abnormally deep due to the fact where our wastewater plant sets. So when we have an issue, it's a big issue. It's not 8, 9, 10 feet deep, it's 25 feet deep. And you're not only replacing the sewer, you're replacing the road and everything else. So that's why those funds are there.
And I couldn't have done it without you. And almost covered was the money.
How quick can they get on this?
They're here working in town, so it's,
I'm just worried about harvest with that being a.
they won't get into,
They won't be
until
allowed.
Will they
They're
stop
just
what they're
going-
currently doing and move to this and then come back?
We'll need to talk to them. On track, we'll need to, they have a sub doing the excavation work, and they're doing the lining work, so we'll have to coordinate that with them. But yeah, that's a good point. The man was actually north of Whitehall Road. So that's good. And it's a dead end.
Well, I made a motion.
I'm good.
Second.
Second by,
I'll second it.
second by.
Patrick, okay, how you vote? Patrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Cobble?
yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome. Sarah said I was happy.
Yes.
2 minutes break.
Do you need me anything else this evening?
Just
Yeah,
just to see your face.
Just stand right there.
You can take out this pottery.
So just how does that work if you open that up and there's 100 ton of contaminated soil? Because see, they're connected to that for like previous owner. Exactly. My home still brought from the location further down the road on the south side. When I dumped that load, I had to have special paperwork for all of it. Dumped it, still tight, for life. They will take, oh, they'll take it. So, it's like $122.
Okay, 6, resolution number 23, C.
Tomorrow morning.
I'll talk about
Just
that.
So, that's, health insurance every year. Now we're gonna just, we're gonna get the money, the closing date is August 28th. 26, something like that. So we really approved that a while ago and had the hearing on this stuff. We just need to get the money. Because a lot of insurance has.
I'll move that.
I'll second that.
Second by Russell, how do you vote? Patrick?
Yes.
Russell?
Yes.
Dolly?
Yes.
Morgan?
Yes.
Cobble?
Yes.
Okay, 7, police department new vehicle purchase. At this time, I'll open the public hearing. Did you receive anything?
No.
Any comments, concerns from general public?
No.
Close public hearing. B, resolution number 2422C, authorizing loan of $76,000 for the police vehicle.
Same thing, we also have, by that resolution, then we go to the bank, get the money to pay for the car, the police car. Moved by Carver,
Second by Morgan, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan, Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, eight, resolution number 24C approving cigarette.
that's a yearly resolution we pass, that include everybody needs a cigarette permit. We pass that every year.
Okay.
Moved by Carver,
This one's just quick starting.
Just quick start right now. Second by Morgan, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan. Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, 9, road use resolution 2423C.
with the annual report that I submit to the state with the road use money that we decide. It's annually, so.
What was that?
That's a whole different part. Good thing we're getting a new one.
Okay. So any question about that road use report, that's the annual report we submit to the state every year. If you don't have any question, I need a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Moved by Patrick,
Second.
second by Dolly. How do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Dolly,
Yes.
Morgan. Cobble. Okay, 10, human resource consultant. Corey had originally brought this up and to see if we can help with the city and what is it, 6,500?
6,500 a year, and Ron Holcomb, an associate, very good firm. We know them, they work on the utility side, helping with union, people, all the stuff, has very good reputation. And I think the $6,500 a year will cover a lot of stuff that we don't have to go into the attorney to get that human resource.
Actually, I was talking where we had $16,000 spent on lawyer fees on the squabble with the rescue. Now we got a lot of other issues, and hopefully something like this would help out ahead of time, so we don't have to send everything to the lawyer.
You don't have a question on your motion?
I just got a question. Now, is this fee gonna be split all with utility? Do they see any value in this?
No,
Just for us? Okay.
But this covers utility side too?
just us. They have their on the utility side.
Oh, okay.
They have their own issue on the utility side.
They've already been using this firm
Yes,
on the
It's the
utility
same firm that
side.
they use.
So-
Yeah.
with the,
They pay for some of the people on our side too, right? It's utilities, don't we share employees?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Is that kind of what you're getting at, is like, you know, where they're paying on our side too, so I know they probably handle it for the union people,
yeah, for the issue, the,
so they don't handle it for the non-union people on the utility side right now.
I'm not sure, we will never really have. The money.
So is this getting us pretty much the same stuff that our attorneys would get us?
Some, most of it, yeah.
Okay, so, and it's, I'm not dead set against it, it just seems like if we're paying already the insurance, and now we're going back to the taxpayers and saying, hey, guess what, we're gonna pay for the same service.
No, this, I'm not talking about the insurance at all, talking about the city at all. Some of the questions that we have in the employment and the stuff that you asked for.
But, so I know when I read, I don't know how many of you guys read the insurance thing when you got it, but there was some provisions in there talking about them providing like this kind of HR service to us, like helping us update our handbook, which is woefully. And I know I visited with you a couple of years ago, Ash, about updating that. We have the insurance to cover that. Why aren't we utilizing that, and we've already paid for it or paying for it, instead of going out and hiring another service? Why aren't we utilizing that? Now we're gonna be spending more money. And I know it's $6,500 a year, it's not that much, but it's still money going out.
It will help with most of these things that we've been and so, this kind of, each department had its own policy and procedure, you know. You need help with, instead of the lawyer, you can go to human resources. Each company, each department had its own policies, swimming pool, rescue, fire, police, all those people have their own policy and procedure, should help with. Some of these questions will go to the city attorney for it. If you add up the numbers, it would be higher than 6,500. I think it's a good idea to have her because she will provide you that service.
But I'm saying, I thought it was in the EMC policy that they would provide some.
No policy and procedure for the department, no policy and procedure for rescue, no policy and procedure for fire, for swimming pool, all these things. It's more than just a handbook, they have their own policy and procedure, it's different. I don't think that insurance will go that far, They provide us, we read the policy too. They provide us with basic 1 hour phone call, to attorney, which I don't know what 1 hour is gonna do us for a case,
Well, hopefully, I get that 1 hour wouldn't do it, but maybe if we'd had our handbook at least updated and it seems like it's already in our ordinance that this stuff is supposed to be taken care of on an ongoing basis. If that had been happening, you wouldn't have any cases, if that was the case.
It's up to you, these people will
Sure.
enhance our service, you're not gonna go make miracles. You will enhance what we got.
So, and again, we got one proposal. We've had many instances where we've gotten one proposal from different department heads on stuff, and we've said, why don't we have 3 that we can look at?
We didn't bid it out, we just contacted people that we know.
And on that, and maybe I'm unclear on this, I don't know all the rules of that. We were basically told this was gonna happen. I thought we usually voted on that to make that happen, because I know whenever I brought something up to look at something, I've always asked for council permission on that. I could be wrong, maybe we don't need it, we can just go out and do it on our own, but I'm curious, because I don't want to get in trouble. We'll say something
It's
wrong,
not a problem, we talked about it last meeting.
but it was just told to us, this is what we're gonna do. We never discussed it really and had a vote on it.
And that's why we have a proposal, you can approve it or do not approve it.
Or you can table it
Can
and give
you-
more information.
What was the reason with this one? Is this,
Last meeting, council member Quick Patrick proposed that we have a human resources.
yeah, I know, but
Help us out.
I'm asking, why,
There was no reason,
okay, I didn't know if this particular
no,
one,
there was no reason.
if this is like what the utilities were doing.
No, we know those firm working with the utility for years, so we contacted them, asked.
Oh, this is the one that was working.
Yeah,
Okay, that's
The
one.
utilities.
just contacted them.
That's what I was wondering.
Some money proposal.
Right.
We didn't have a vote to have a proposal or to bid it out. It was just a discussion. And Cooley proposed it and we contacted people to give us a proposal to look at it. And it's not really that you have to agree on it or disagree on it. It's following up at the meeting. And my recommendation is it's good to have those people. You would save you money. That's my recommendation. Jim, has something?
No.
Yeah, that company represents the utilities in their negotiations with Local 55.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's what that company does, is they represent the utility side in negotiations with the lineman's union.
Sure.
Been that way since I was there.
Yeah.
I think
No time.
I think it would be able to help out with, maybe the hiring process too.
Yeah, all
Maybe
these
try to
things,
get people-
negotiation,
Yeah.
hiring, all these things, they've been around for a long time. I'm not promoting anything. We're following up with the last meeting. I appreciate the.
Well, let me interrupt you for a second, Ash, if you don't mind. I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to step on any toes. I guess I just kind of go back to your statement. You said there's no reason that we're doing this. and I would hope, and I don't wanna speak for any other council member, but to me, that raises like, well, then why are we doing it? You know, if, you know, these job functions are spelled out in our ordinance, pretty much on what they need to do, and I would hope, you know, I would assume through experience, you know, other places were being reached out to on this and stuff, and at a minimum, I would like more information. I'd like to see another firm's proposal. I'd like to know what cities these guys work for and who they handle and what they do before anything. But again, my sticking point, it wouldn't be so bad if we, and don't take this personally, but if we didn't have a city administrator, if we just had a clerk or something, we need somebody to answer HR questions. But we have an experienced city administrator that's been doing this for 28 years, so why are we bringing in this now to?
I don't think Ash is in HR.
I don't know if you want to be so to the job. Any town has administrator, the biggest house you have, human resources. The what? The company you work for has a human resources, what?
Well, see, that's why I'd like to see, you know, like I said, how many towns our size have an HR representative?
Well, do we want to just table this?
Can we just get more information? Like you said, maybe reach out to another firm,
Yeah.
get the cities that they work for. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it, I'm having a hard time right now grasping the need when you as an advisor to the council says, well, we're not really doing it for any reason.
No, I didn't see.
Well, we haven't had it for 28 years, so
Yes.
yeah, I get what you're saying, so I would like to see us look at maybe two other firms. I know nothing about this, might be the best thing since sliced bread. I really don't know. But I agree, what would that look like from two others? Or,
Sure. Can we
I
have
like
a
the
motion?
cities.
Can we have a motion to seek more further?
I think that's the proper way to do it, but I mean, if we don't need it, we really.
You
And
know,
I think, just somebody's got a question if you wanna entertain that.
Doesn't HR just do more than just employee personnel issues? HR does insurance, HR does, they do, I think some people are more focused on like one little piece. HR does more than that. And I don't know that Ash can give you all the information on city insurance or Cobra or your health insurance, your dental insurance. You have to go to those companies where I can go to my HR director and ask him, and he's gonna know those specific questions. Does that make sense?
Yeah, same way with my workplace as well.
Yeah, they're a little more broad than just personnel problems or, issues that come up. They can explain more of insurance and.
Okay.
But to go to your point, Mike, I mean, she spells out in here, the first two paragraphs, I mean, she's saying she can look at reviewing and helping to improve our employee handbooks and hiring and termination guides and, talking about issues that arise. I mean, she can help with all that. I mean, it could be a valuable service. Is it something we maintain for the next 20 years? Probably not. But it could definitely be something we need in the short term to help get us up to a level set. And then maybe we reevaluate it, in future years, is this something we need to continue on going? But I mean, there is value that I see, but yes, I see your point. We should always reach out and have multiple opinions on
Right,
this.
yeah, and I'm not dissing it as like, well, it's just a stupid idea, I just, whatever. Like I said, I don't wanna step on any toes and get myself in trouble, so. If, I don't know, but, anyway, I'm done.
Do you guys work with them pretty close?
Yeah.
As a company?
Yeah.
And I'm not getting into utilities business by no means, but do you see where it's pretty beneficial on the utilities?
The best I've ever worked with in business, since she's a lawyer. So you get into bills and stuff, I say she's a lawyer.
Yeah.
So it's up to you, you can accept it, you can deny it. I just did what the discussion led me to do from last week.
Me personally, I'd like to see two other ones just because I think that we should. But then I think we do go off of, I would appreciate recommendations. You can still recommend this one.
I'm recommending this one
Right.
because of the longevity that we have with them working with the ability. It's like James said, more than 20 years with that firm. And you're doing the same thing, it's good for, my recommendation is good for, but I can't make a decision to accept them or not. It's up to you, you can make a motion to accept the proposal. Is he gonna help us? He will definitely help us.
But we've never seen another.
Yeah, but
Because we've only worked
so when I'm trying not to focus on one thing.
Right.
You do whatever,
Yeah.
just, I gave you what I got for you to make a decision. You asked me for my recommendation, I gave it to you, I recommend this one. But if you want more, we'll go back and get more. We'll do anything you guys wanna do.
So let's make a motion that we table it for right now. We go back, we get 2 more companies, and their proposals. Included in that are the cities that they currently handle. So we know which cities are working with. And then, once we gather that, you know, we can make a decision based on that.
So, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Second. How you vote, Patrick,
No,
Russell,
No.
Dolan,
Yes.
Morgan?
Yeah.
Cobal?
Yes.
Okay. 11, ordinance number 2402C. Can you explain that, Ash?
Ordinance, zoning, to this.
Did the P and Z have different
That,
recommendations,
that zoning recommendation, I think we voted in the packet.
accessory buildings and structures?
Yes. Well,
This is the accessory building thing, right?
Yes.
Yes.
In the side yards.
Addressing the side yard buildings.
Is that what that is?
Right, so if you look at numbers 1, 2, and 3, that's what they're suggesting that you change. So to allow garages and accessory buildings in the side yards, because there are some houses that kind of sit sideways on the lot and they don't really have enough of a backyard to put the building back there, but they can put it next to their house. So that just avoids having to go for the board of adjustment and get a variance every time. Temporary storage units, this would allow them with a time limit, so that you don't have people just putting a pot in their driveway and leaving it there for 5 years. And then to state clearly that shipping containers cannot be used as accessory buildings.
I guess I have an issue with that third item. I mean, what's the opinion on that? Did they give a reason they don't want to allow that, or to allow shipping containers as accessory storage buildings?
Everyone has an opinion on that.
Well, yes, I'm saying, did they state a reason? You know, what's our ability to say we don't agree with that? I mean, I guess I don't know this process right here well enough.
I don't want to speak for them, but this is just what they're suggesting.
Yeah, and we usually give you the land and zoning, we don't like wait on it.
Yeah.
So. It's up to you, you can table it too if you want, you can approve it.
I mean, if you want to table it, Craig, we could ask P and Z
Yeah, I'd like to
on the.
know their reasoning why, and I mean, if the council has an issue with it, or are we in favor, is everyone else in favor of it? I mean, I guess what's the general opinion on that?
I know Correll Sargent has one over near you,
Yeah, well, that's
Selhorn
already
has
informed.
one,
No, we're not.
Dwyer's has one, Luis has one, and his yard, I don't know if there's any others.
Could you just repeat what you said you had a concern with?
Well, the line item number 3, where you're not allowed to use shipping containers as a storage building.
Want to table it?
That'd be fine too.
Okay.
Table and ask the P and Z more information.
Just their reasoning on that?
Yeah.
That's what you want?
On number 3. Okay. 12, Stuart Economic Development map, he's not here, but ordinance number 2403C. And this one here, I don't know, the fees, and that's what,
I think we talked about it last time,
yeah.
we just decided to change those. It's hard, we have a lot of money with, we charge the people a lot of money, but we changed it. So if you're okay with it,
Do you know where he came up with those numbers? I'm glad we're changing it.
Yeah.
Very glad we're changing it.
Yeah, he did his research, but I don't know what he said. You know?
No.
The recommendation was to look at other cities and base it off of what they.
If he was here, I'm sure he'd answer. I just.
Yeah, he's on the call. So we can table it if you want.
Yeah, okay, so again, I don't sit there, I don't have a photographic memory on every council meeting. What was the issues with the fees? Were we charging too little or too high or?
Way too much.
Way too much.
Local residents.
Yeah.
We have a line item E on that, it's
What-
300.
Yeah.
Los Altos couldn't hold their truck without spending thousands of dollars a year for a license, a permit.
Okay,
This came up in front of Seed. Seed feels strongly that these fees should be reduced. Back when these ordinances came about, there was against traveling vendors, you're perceived as gypsies and an undesirable element in your community. But now that ordinance applies to food trucks, and food trucks are incredibly popular. And that's the last thing we want to discourage. So Seed is strongly in favor of getting this adjusted. So we would urge you to just go ahead and proceed.
so, and again, I don't know what the fees were prior to this. Do we know what they changed from? to?
Yes.
Yeah, that was in the packet.
And
They're the same. The only thing that's changed is the annual license for local businesses was added.
oh, okay. So is that what you were talking about, Lauren, kind of, is just that annual fee for the local businesses?
$300.
That high rate? So that's the only change that we made?
Well, we were having, I think a lot of our local people,
Sure.
it wasn't even like affordable, it was staying within our own towns, they were traveling to other towns, it was so much cheaper.
Well, I get that, I just didn't know if we changed every single one of them, like I said, I'm not gonna recall, but I'll move that we do this.
I'll second that.
Okay, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Nolan,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes,
Need a motion for the second reading?
so moved.
Second by Morgan, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Nolan,
Yes.
Morgan,
Yes.
Cobble.
Yes.
Need a motion to waive third and final? Cobble, second by Patrick, how do you vote? Patrick,
Yes.
Russell,
Yes.
Nolan,
Yes.
Morgan, Cobble.
Yes.
Okay, 13, employer retention and health insurance.
Okay, this is kinda. You wanna talk or?
Well, both of us can, but I personally talked to a lot of the city employees, and like I said earlier, the wage difference between what early employees on the police and there is quite a bit higher. And other employees say, we've got utilities, city and police right now are trying to get employees. And my biggest fear is if we go ahead like the utilities, say a new employee is gonna have to start paying insurance. Everybody else is grandfathered in, while an employee, say Mason right there, coming new on the job and said, well, I can go to Earlham and do this job. And I don't have to pay health insurance, or